Hey everyone, today we're going to dig into something big, a real seismic shift in the world of project management. We're talking about the move from the old, super rigid PMBOK guide to the new, flexible, value-focused 7th edition. And look, if you manage projects, this isn't just some minor update, it's absolutely essential to understand. But let's kick things off with a question, one that might just make you rethink, well, everything. What if on time and on budget isn't the finish line? What if that's actually the wrong way to measure success? I mean, think about it. Is it possible to hit every single target, check every box, and still have a project that, in the end, was a complete failure? That's the puzzle we're putting together today. Okay, so let's get right into it. To really get why this change was so necessary, you have to understand the old way of thinking. For a long time, we treated projects kind of like following a recipe from a cookbook. And this slide just lays it all out. The old goal was all about control, staying inside that iron triangle, scope, time, and budget. But here's the problem with that recipe book approach. You could follow every single step perfectly, bake this beautiful cake, only to find out that nobody actually wanted cake. They needed bread the whole time. The new goal completely flips that. It's all about the outcome. Did we actually deliver the thing that creates real business value for our stakeholders? Yeah, for the longest time, the model for project management was basically treated like a simple engineering problem. You've got your inputs, right? You apply a bunch of known tools and techniques, and you get a predictable output. The thing is, real-world modern projects are just not that clean. They're messy, they're human, and they are always, always full of surprises. So, okay, if that old recipe was broken, what's the fix? Well, it's not just a fix. It's a huge philosophical shift. It's about moving away from what a project manager is supposed to know and focusing on what a project team needs to do. In the old world, everything was organized into these knowledge areas. You can really think of them like chapters in a textbook, right? Cost management, risk management, scope management. The whole emphasis was on possessing this knowledge, almost like you were cramming for a final exam. And bam, here's the change. We've moved to performance domains. The name itself tells the whole story. A domain isn't something you just know. It's a place where you perform. It's about the activities the team has to get done to actually deliver an outcome. We've literally gone from a noun to a verb, from static information to dynamic action. This table really breaks it all down. Just look at the shift in every single row. We're going from focusing on processes to delivering value. From these siloed buckets of knowledge to interconnected areas of action. From the project manager being the lone hero to the entire project team being empowered. And maybe the biggest one of all, success isn't just sticking to the plan anymore. It's about achieving real business outcomes. You see that pattern, right? It's a total transformation. So the whole philosophy has been turned on its head. It's not just about knowledge as power anymore. The new thinking, the new mantra, is that performance empowers. It empowers the team, the project, everyone to deliver something that actually matters. All right, so what are these new building blocks then? Let's take a quick spin through the 8 performance domains. These are really the heart and soul of this new framework. Now, don't think of this as just a random list of 8 things. There's a real logic to it. As you can see, it all starts with people, your stakeholders in your team, everything flows from them. Their needs are then guided by a strategy. That's your development approach, your planning, and how you deal with uncertainty. And all of that comes together in the execution, the actual project work, the delivery of value, and how you measure your progress. It all connects. But here's a super important point. This is not a checklist. You don't just do number 1, then number 2, and so on. A much better way to think about it is like having a set of 8 different lenses. At any point in your project, you should be able to look through any of these lenses to get a clearer picture of what's going on and figure out what you need to do next. Okay, now we're getting to what might be the single most important concept in this entire framework. And that's the fact that these 8 domains, they're not a list. They're a living, breathing system. So the official term is a complex adaptive system. Now that sounds a bit academic, I know, but the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. It just means all 8 of these domains are deeply connected. They're constantly influencing each other. You can't just manage one of them in a vacuum. What this really means is that a decision you make in one area is going to send ripples across all the others. You can't just tweak your plan without thinking about how it affects the team, the stakeholders, the delivery. It's all one big interconnected web. Let me give you a really clear example of this. Let's say your project kicks off with a ton of uncertainty. Well, as this shows, that fact immediately forces a change in your planning domain. You have to be more adaptive, more flexible. Now, because your plan is adaptive, that in turn empowers your team to constantly check their work and adjust on the fly. And that team empowerment, it has a direct, massive impact on the final delivery of value. See? It's one big, continuous feedback loop. So that's the theory, that's the framework. But let's bring it all home. What does this actually mean for you? On your projects, day in and day out, why does this shift really matter? Well, here are the big takeaways. This new way of thinking demands that you relentlessly focus on value, not just on checking off tasks. It's built to help you embrace adaptability, to see change as an opportunity, not a threat. It's designed to empower the team because, let's face it, they're the ones closest to the work. And really, it's a call to action, to lead, not just manage. I love this slide because it perfectly captures the mental shift. The old way had you constantly asking, okay, which process am I supposed to follow now? What form do I need to fill out? The new way pushes you to ask a much, much more powerful question. Out of everything we could possibly do, what is the one action that will create the most value for our stakeholders right now? And this isn't just another update to a guide. This shift from process to performance, from command and control to creating value, it really marks the maturation of the entire project management profession. It's project management growing up, evolving from just a technical skill into a truly strategic business discipline. So I'll leave you with one final thought, something to really reflect on with your own work. Take a good, honest look at your projects, at your meetings, at your to-do lists, and ask yourself this simple but incredibly powerful question. Are you just managing a process, or are you leading the delivery of value?